today's video, we're wrapping the roof on the 240. What's up guys? How you guys doing out there? Hope you guys are all well. Today's going to be a third attempt at doing our first DIY video for you guys. Today's video is actually going to be doing a wrap job on the roof of the 240. I'm actually wrapping it black just to kind of get a feel for what it might look like, just because as you guys can see, oh actually you might not be able to see from the camera angle, the top part of the car is already kind of black. You know, the top, these pillar arms are black, as well as the trim. The tint kind of darkens it out a little bit. So I'm basically just going to try and wrap the roof. I'm not going to try, I am going to wrap the roof, and we'll see how that kind of looks, just for a future reference. Might actually get it fully painted, might leave the wrap on if it looks good. This is going to be my first attempt at wrapping a car, with anything. I haven't used wrap at all before, so it's going to be first time for both me and you, possibly, unless you guys have, had experience. But yeah, like I said, my first time, so we're going to try this together. But other than that, yeah, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is take the sunroof out just to kind of clear out the space. I obviously don't want this in there while I'm wrapping it. It's just in the way, so we're going to go ahead and take this out first. Alright, so to remove it from this hinge here, all you want to do is just unlatch it. And on the sides, you'll see these two tabs here on each side. You press those, and simultaneously you kind of push this up and you just kind of jimmy it out a little bit. And there you go. You just kind of get on the hooks, and you're all set. There's also a latch up front right here, so make sure you just pop this guy out as well. Now, to get the sunroof out of there, all you gotta do is pull it up and slide it towards you. If anybody knows what these are, let me know in the comments. Jot it down. Not sure what it does. Alright guys, well, sorry about this, but since I don't have a cameraman here, I'm going to have to kind of bring you guys with me here. So now that I got the sunroof out, basically I'm just going to go ahead and kind of clean up all the stuff in here, all along the edges. Also, I'm going to give the whole roof a wipe down. You want to make sure you got this whole surface really nice and clean. Like I said, just make sure if you're planning on wrapping thoroughly, like I am. However, I kind of have noticed that it's going to be a little bit tough to go around these, but you're not going to see this too much, so as long as I kind of tuck it down inside there, as long as I get through here, I will kind of wrap it around here a little bit. Mainly, I'm worried about back here, just because obviously when the sunroof's open, this is the spot where you see the most. You pretty much don't see anything up here, so I'm not too worried. However, I will get pretty much it all wrapped, at least as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and start wiping this down. Alright, so now that I got pretty much it all cleaned up, everything that I need to clean up is pretty much cleaned. All the areas that need to be are pretty much good to go. Obviously, I didn't go too crazy around here. Like I said, I'm just going to pretty much be getting the vinyl to just go tucking down this line here. I'm not going to bring it all the way across because, like I said, you won't see it, so we won't worry about that. So like I said, I kind of cleaned it up all along the edges. Got the whole roof washed. Next thing I'm going to do here is take this guy out just to make the whole install process a little bit easier on us. Alright, so now we're back in the car. So what I did to get to this point, I took off this little plastic latch. This was on the latch in the back here. As you guys can see now, you can just see the buttons are still here, but you can just see the whole mechanism exposed. So then I also went to go ahead and take the light off, got to pop the cover off. Now I slid the light back in here. You can see it focuses in. So I got that tucked back in there. So now basically I have to fish my hand inside here and kind of wiggle out the sprayer for the rear window. I'm just going to try and fish around for that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we got this little guy out. Basically, I don't know if you guys can see in here, but if this thing will focus, there we go. There's a little tabs on each side, so you basically just have to line it up with the tabs in the car. I think I'm just gonna be taking this completely out and just honestly just wrapping it right over this. This is no use to me now. I don't have the SE wing anymore. As you guys can see, I have the just a regular wing, or excuse me, regular hatch, not SE wing. I have the normal hatch without the wiper that normally came with the car, because this is an SE. So I'm just gonna be taking this out and wrapping over the hole basically. So we'll see how that goes. Well, looks like Mother Nature wanted to drop some rain down upon us, so we're gonna have to set a hole to this, at least for now. I would pop this in the garage, but the lighting's not very good, so we're just gonna see if it holds off. We're gonna see if it stops, which it should, so we'll be back in just a couple seconds. Well, looky what we have here, boys. A little easy up. Oh, we'll be golden here soon. Alright guys, so the rain didn't hold up, so we had to pop up the Easy Go, whatever little tent gazebo thing here to kind of keep the work going, because like I said, if we went into the garage, we wouldn't be able to see anything. So we're just going to keep on moving along here. So like I said, once you have this fully cleaned down, you want to make sure you have everything as clean as possible. At least, you know, like the main portion of the roof or whatever part you're wrapping. Just because any contaminants on the surface, it will affect how the product lays down, and it will result in a different final product. So make sure you get everything wiped down nice and clean. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can buy for this kind of a project, but I'm not fully prepared here. You can use wax and grease remover. 3M sells their own solvents you can buy, so pretty much anything that cleans it will be good enough. So you guys should be set, so let's just keep on moving. Once you have your wrap ready, you can go ahead and place it on the panel you're wrapping, and then you can tape it in place. We got the vinyl cut out to size. Basically just a rough estimate as to, you know, width, length. It all get trimmed up in the end, but just to cut off the excess that was in the way. Now, this is going to be where it gets a little bit more difficult for me. This is just kind of a one-man job. This is just me here today. This is kind of where 2 or 3 people may come in handy. I'm going to start peeling the back siding off the vinyl off and slowly starting to lay down the vinyl. I believe you can rip it back up, stick it back down until you actually get it down with a squeegee. I'm also going to get a little squeegee set up here. Like I said, I ordered one. It's not here, and I don't want to wait for it, so we're just going to go on without it. I'll make my own. You're going to want to make sure you have a heat gun or a hair dryer of some sort just to kind of soften up the vinyl, to curve it around the edges, get it down in the spots where you need it to kind of mold to the shape of the car. So make sure you have one of those handy, and like I said, a squeegee, and you'll be good to go. See that? Oh. It actually is, look at that, there's no sticker on it, but as you guys can see, it doesn't actually stick, which allows you to kind of float it around. This is the 3M 1080 series. It kind of has like these glass or micro glass beads that allow you to kind of roll it around until you actually squeegee it down and get it in place. It won't set. If it does, if you get it down and you don't want it, it pops right back up. That wasn't a really tough bond just because of my finger, but you guys get the idea. Alright guys, well I was able to find a squeegee laying around my garage, so we are all set. It's just a nice rubber one, it will work perfect. So I'm just going to start squeegeeing this all down, and we're going to make our way from there. Alright guys, so I found out that this squeegee is a little bit too grippy for the vinyl, so all I'm going to do is just wrap a little microfiber cloth that I have laying around it, just to get it a little bit smoother, just so it glides a little bit better. I guess you want to call it, of the roof is almost, I mean, not complete, I'm going to say, but it's laid down. I got it all squeegee down. As you guys can see, this obviously needs to be cleaned up. And let me see, where was it? I think it was right here. Regardless, there's very small imperfections. All those will go away with the heat. So once, we'll come back to these at the end. We'll just add a little bit of heat from our either hair dryer in this case, or your heat gun. So once we get finished, at least with the vinyl placement, we'll go ahead and kind of touch up, the imperfections. There aren't many, but there's a couple very small ones that I see, and we'll get those sorted and we'll keep on moving. So as you guys can see, I pretty much have the vinyl 90% down, 80 to 90% down. You guys can tell I actually cut out this hole here just to kind of make it easier so I can work with it, as opposed to kind of getting in the middle because I can't really reach too well. So this allows me to kind of play with it a little bit better. And of course, obviously, I have to cut it out in the end. Alright, so the next step we got here is to finish laying the vinyl, get it laid down exactly how it should be. We're going to use a little bit of heat here and there just to kind of help the vinyl lay and kind of mold better, I guess you could say. So yeah, we're just going to do that and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so after quite a little bit of time later, we got the vinyl fully laid down on the car, got all the wrinkles, all the stretches out. Had to just do a lot of pulling, heat it up, stretch it, all that good stuff. It's a lot of work, it takes time. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'm just learning as I go. It's going pretty well. It's actually going very well. I'm actually surprised how, I shouldn't say how easy, but it doesn't take too much skill. It just takes time. So take your time when you're doing this at home. So for the next step, all I'm going to do is just trim up the edges just enough so at least I can kind of get a rough look as to how much I need to finally cut around to get it sitting where it needs to sit. That goes for the inside of the sunroof here, the seal for the windshield, the hatch, along the side of the windows, all that fun stuff. So we'll get doing that and we'll touch back with you guys when it's done. What's up guys, so it's day 2 today on the Wrapping the Roof project. Took a little bit of time yesterday, ran out of daylight, so we're going to be kind of resuming it today. I'll show you guys where we left off, at least kind of what I completed yesterday from when I last spoke to you guys. Got all the edges pretty much trimmed up, obviously besides the sunroof, but along the edges here, along the doors, along the seal here on the windshield, going back to the hatch here, obviously got that tucked in pretty nice. Along these edges here you can kind of see, I just want to mention, you want to keep this very warm, especially when it's cold outside. This tends to crack. Let me just show you guys. This tends to crack when it's cold just by, stress fractures. I was pulling it. I was trying to stretch this vinyl way over in the corner over here, and actually it just cracked on me. As you guys can see, it's still connected on the end here. So you just want to make sure you keep it nice and warm. It works a lot better when it's warm as well. You can, it stretches a whole heap amount. It stretches a whole bunch, so you don't have to worry about getting too many crinkles in the corners. As you guys can see, I tried to stretch it along this corner here, kind of tucked it down. Got to clean it up a little bit down here in the crevice, but we'll get to that. Like I said, just kind of gotta trimmed up along the edges. Got to fit it up really nice. As you guys can see, I used personally a straight razor. Preferably, I would rather use knifeless tape. It wasn't available to me at the time, so if you guys want, if you're gonna do this at home, knifeless tape would probably be your best bet. real nice, even smooth cuts. However, I did a pretty decent job. I think it looks pretty good. Let me just walk over to the other side, show you what we got going on over here. Same thing, you know, cut along the seam here where I wanted it. Just got to trim it up a little bit better in a couple spots. Got to work on it here a little bit of bubbling. Just got to work on that, add a little bit of heat, and it should be perfect. Same thing here, added heat, stretched it, pulled it down, opened the hatch, kind of used a little bit of, you know, vinyl I had shown in the corner there, pulled it down, and yeah, we're looking pretty good here, guys. So let me just set you up on the tripod, and we'll get working on the sunroof here. Alright, so about an hour has gone by, give or take, since you last saw me working here. Basically been using a lot of heat and stretching it, in a sense, kind of inwards inside here. As you guys can see, well, before there was a huge clump of just excess vinyl just chilling in the middle here. So I'm like, okay, well, this isn't good. So I had to basically kind of slowly, little by little, taking it off, putting it back on, peeling it back off, you know, all that good stuff. So we're making progress. It's just very tedious. You just have to take your time. Don't rush things. Use a lot of heat. This reacts very well with heat. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't fade away. It actually pulls and stretches much easier. It's pretty cold out today, so that's not helping me by any means. But yeah, we're just gonna keep on going. We're almost done, and I'll see you guys back when we're ready to trim it up. Alright guys, so we're making progress here, slowly but surely, but as you guys can see, just kind of want to tuck it along the edges here, make sure you use a lot of heat, slowly cutting away all the excess. Like I told you guys in the beginning, you don't really need to add too much, at least on 240s, in the front side of the sunroof, just because you won't see it when the roof is on. So kind of slowly, as you guys can see, making my way, like I said, add a lot of heat. It's very, very flexible when it's warm, so make sure you just keep it nice and toasty. So you just want to continue to make your way around, take your time. It does take a while. I've already been doing this for about 2 hours today, so make sure you just, you know, you're careful with the way you heat it up, and you know, make sure you don't crack anything like I mentioned before if it's cold outside. So yeah, I'll set you guys back up on the tripod, and I'll see you guys when I'm done. Alright guys, well that pretty much does it for this video. As you guys can see, I pretty much have the whole thing installed now. It looks awesome. You guys can see I got it all tucked in around here. Got the trim back put in. Got a little close-up shot here. So yeah, all in all guys, I think it turned out pretty well. Like I said, it's my first time doing something along these lines. So, not a professional by any means, but all in all, looks pretty good. You know, from first glance, there's not really anything you can see that right away kind of catches your eye as far as imperfections. So it looks good as far as that goes. So if you guys are thinking about doing something like this, you know, just keep in mind it takes a lot of time, especially if it's something new to you guys. And also, if you're just doing this by yourself, make sure you have, a couple days set aside, all the tools you need. So the last thing left to do here is just get the sunroof on, and we'll touch back with you guys then. Alright guys, that's going to conclude today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that big thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that red subscribe button to stick around for future videos and future builds. There's a lot of big stuff coming up real soon, so make sure you stick around for all that. And as always guys, appreciate the love, appreciate the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.